Welcome to Diegesis. My name's Chad, and today I want to talk to you about everything, everywhere, all at once. So if you take a look at the title of this video, you probably will realize that I'm stretching the use of the word hidden a little bit. It's not necessarily difficult to suss out that everything everywhere all at once is talking about philosophical ideas. But what I mean by hidden meaning is that in essence, the movie is a battle between philosophies. And the Daniels do pick a winner. And the philosophy that they choose to win, I believe personally, is the philosophy that they believe in themselves.
That's pretty accurate.
That sounds fun.
But I also think that they were very skillfully, lost my voice there for a second, but I do think they were very skillful and subtle in how they presented the message through the film that they wanted to present. So let's intro some characters. You see, I believe that the three major characters of the movie each represent a different archetypal philosophy, and the foundation for the entire story is going to be seen through the lens of our first one, Evelyn.
You are getting fat.
You see, Evelyn is what I'm choosing to call a moral traditionalist. It's almost somebody without a philosophy, but your philosophy is basically handed down to you. I can make a whole separate video on generational trauma and talk about how we hand baggage off to each other, but in this case, we're going to mostly specifically focus on the values that Evelyn finds valuable. One of the central conflicts of the film is between Evelyn and her daughter Joy.
I'm so sorry. You're still hung up on the fact that I like girls in this world.
Evelyn doesn't seem to have any real particular issues. It's just that she has an idea of this is how things should be and things are not right when they don't fit into the boxes I've set for them. And I even think that Alpha Wayman fits into this mindset alongside Evelyn, showcased in this conversation here.
Your clothes never wear as well the next day. Your hair never falls in quite the same way. Our institutions are crumbling. Nobody trusts their neighbor anymore. And you stay up at night wondering to yourself, how can we get back?
How can we get back? So the Daniels have done a good job of setting up their baseline, the foundation for which all of this conflict is going to build. So we make our villain. A traditional way to do so is to give us kind of the inverse, and so here we go. Joy. Joy is two halves of a coin because in essence, Stephanie Hsu has to play two different characters. Joy's character's main conflicts have to do with generational trauma, but the other character she's playing is a heightened, enlightened version of herself called Jobu Tupaki. And in becoming an all-knowing, all-seeing god, she basically can't find any discrete reason, point, capital M meaning to anything, anywhere. Even sometimes. And this concept is expertly illustrated through the use of the everything bagel. Because if you put everything on a bagel, you end up with a black hole. Or as Jobu puts it, the truth. And what is the truth?
Nothing matters.
And so without the movie having to hit you over the head with the actual word, the raw concept and emotional baggage that comes along with nihilism is illustrated instead. So for a large chunk of the movie, our main conflict is moral traditionalism versus nihilism. But that's where the most important character of the film steps in.
Was I Raccoon Wayman again?
You see, Wayman and Jobu actually have an extremely similar ideology. And the best way I would describe the difference is between nihilism and absurdism. Now, I'm not here to get into a big argument with the
Philosophy.
major, so these are the words I'm using, but the essence of what I'm trying to get at is that Jobu looks into the infinite void and despairs, but Wayman looks into that same infinite void and has a very different perspective. Rather than being opposites like Evelyn and Jobu are, it's almost an inversion of the same idea, the same way that the everything bagel and a googly eye are basically color inverted. When Jobu pulls Evelyn into her philosophy, and Evelyn starts to see the infinite uselessness and meaninglessness of everything, and then like anyone else, despairs, she points out rightfully so that all we're doing is spinning our wheels, just doing laundry and taxes. But Wayman's counter to that point isn't that there's meaning.
如果有来生，我还是会选择和你一起报税，开心一点。
It doesn't matter that everything is meaningless. You still get to choose how you spend your time, and you can find value in the discrete time that you are allotted. So rather than two super beings who don't believe in the value of anything destroying the entire universe, Wayman single-handedly saves everyone, everywhere, all at once. Because through pulling Evelyn out of that void, Evelyn now can take what she's gained and pull Jobu out of the same void. And she makes almost the exact same argument when she says,
No matter what, I still want to be here with you. I will always want to be here with you.
And at the end, everything isn't perfect, but the family is now a cohesive unit again, and the audience can leave the film feeling like something has been accomplished. A victory has been won today. And the movie never had to hit you over the head with all of these definitions. It just makes a very compelling argument in favor of absurdism.
See? They're happy right here.
No more Google eyes!
Now, I'm not saying that this is propaganda or anything. Every movie fundamentally is going to have a message.
How come you don't want me, man?
All you have to do is look at how every character ends up at the end of the film. If you see one character succeeding and moving on to happiness and another character failing and moving on to pain and agony, then the film is making a statement as to who made the correct choices and who made the wrong choices. But the Daniels were very clever about how they fit these ideas in. But an even more clever trick I think they used was what they didn't show us. You see, part of why Jobu is a nihilist is because she experiences everything, every multiverse.
That all just goes away.
But if you noticed, we don't really spend any time in any universes where the relationship between Evelyn and Jobu is just rendered irrelevant. You can always feel the tension in every universe that either Evelyn and Joy don't have a strong relationship, or that in the universes where Evelyn never met Waymond, she's missing her Joy. Get it?
I've always hated this place.
But if we were to have spent a good chunk of the movie in a bunch of multiverses where maybe the definition of love is just completely different, or the idea that two people would care about each other, that a mother and daughter would love each other, even matters, then it would make it exceedingly difficult for us to feel at the end of the film like something had been accomplished, that there was any point or meaning to them loving each other at the end and being back on the same page. Because we'd always be like, well, okay, fine, but in the majority of universes, it doesn't even matter if you two love each other, so who cares? And if that's the way that we feel, then the movie's messaging would actually be pointing back on over to Jobu's side.
Bagel!
And the message that nothing you do matters, you might as well just give up, is not the super compelling way to make a film, because that inherently kind of ruins the 3-act structure. It's difficult to have an ending there. So being what I would argue the most creative people working in Hollywood right now, the Daniels absolutely conquer getting this message across in a way that doesn't come across clumsy or preachy or disingenuous. The Daniels are just sick with it. So I want to get into it with you guys in the comments. Hit me up in there and let me know what you think about the philosophical breakdowns of the film, but any other aspect of it. The movie is just incredible, and I'll probably make more videos in the future talking about different aspects of it. I know that as of today, I can legitimately say that Everything Everywhere All at Once is my all-time favorite film. So that wraps it up for today's episode. I love you. Till next time.